This is the ITIL V3 Foundation exam course. I'm an instructor, Suresh GP. I've been in this industry for 14 plus years in different domains of manufacturing, insurance, and education. I spent about last 10 plus years in different positions of being a global delivery head, business consultant, solution architect, and program manager. I was awarded the ITSM Contributor of the Year by ITSM of Singapore. I keep speaking in these conferences and have conducted 200 plus management workshops. And some of the client list you can see it for yourself, and the list goes on. So I'm a certified ITIL V3 expert. I come from the ITIL V2 service manager since 2005, a project management professional, certified in governance of enterprise IT, ISO 20000, and a lead auditor. So, what we will learn today is to understand first the context of the exam or context setting. What are we going to learn today? So, we are going to completely focus on how to crack the ITIL V3 Foundation exam, right? Um, and we're going to talk about, irrespective of whether you're in IT, whether you're not in IT, whether you have 1 year of experience, 3 year of experience, it doesn't matter. What really matters is how are we going to take you, adopt you in a program and curriculum that you all get yourself familiarized and are able to crack the exam first time. There's a lot of institutes today say that there is 100% guarantee of pass, but in Edureka we think differently. We want to master the science of cracking the exams. We don't really give those bold statements as part of 100% pass, but we have practitioners who could give you those real basis, framework, and understanding and foundation that you can crack the exams. Because we bring in real time experiences that we share with you so that you're able to understand the concepts, even though you were not working in those domains or IT specific needs. So we'll talk about preparation method and timelines. We will talk about important topics in the foundation exam. We will also talk about how is the exam structured. That is the semantics. That means is it a multiple choice question or an essay type? What is the minimum pass? How do you register for an exam, and so on and so forth, so that you get your familiarized with the pattern of the exam. We will talk about tips and tricks. Basically, look, and I've delivered these courses across different geographies of Hong Kong, China, Singapore, Malaysia, and rest of Asia. Is that we have seen people, where did they go wrong, and what are the real issues that they are able to we are able to address, right? So based on collective experience that you have done over a period of the last 10 plus years in the training industry, we would give him a lot more practical insights. And we'll talk about some of the common pitfalls people do that you should avoid if you take up an exam, right? So we will talk about that. We will talk also about ideal preparation timeline and Q&A. So feel free to post your questions into the question pane. I'm sorry that we had a little bit of thing. I was on mute. But feel free to talk and post your questions, and we will take this question at the end of the session, right? Um, so with that, I will go ahead and jump into the qualification. Now, one of the best advantages of this ITIL course is there are no prerequisites. What does it mean? You could have experience. You are just new to IT. You're not at all from IT. You could be in manufacturing. You could be in pharmaceuticals. You could be in retail. It doesn't matter. Anybody who is involved in delivery of service can be a part of this particular exam or can take this exam. So this ITIL, it stands for IT Infrastructure Library. That IT Infrastructure Library is primarily focused on anybody who is delivering service, like for internal employees or external customers. It could be a broadband service, it could be a desktop support, it could be a retail service, it could be a product that you release for your customer. Irrespective of whether whatever you are in service business, if you're delivering a service, then you can actually go ahead and apply for an ITIL Foundation exam. Um, so it is aimed at people, professionals working within an organization, be it IT or others, who are adapting or adopting ITIL, and understands how to improve the way the services needs to be provided, right? So that is what we need to be talking about in terms of qualification. So the good news is each and every one of you can go ahead and apply for an exam. It will all be useful if you're in service-based industry or anybody who provides service. Now, kickstarting your foundation preparation. In terms of this ITIL Foundation, you don't need to really uh, enroll for a course. It's not mandatory, as opposed to the ITIL Intermediate, which is mandatory that you need to enroll for a course. But we strongly recommend. Now, why do we say strongly recommend to enroll into a course? Now, we see a lot of people who have either background in IT or do not have any background in IT. They actually want to come here and um, understand the concepts easily. So we have practitioners who deliver these courses. I deliver these courses right from ITIL Foundation, Intermediate to Expert. Now, what we bring is very lucid examples, real-time examples of what is a service, what are the different, what do you mean by value, what are the different kind of stakeholders, internal, external, shared, and so on. So we give some definitions, some very basic examples where you will be able to relate whether you belong to IT or you have experience or not, right? So I would strongly recommend you to enroll into a course. Edureka offers this course as part of ITIL Foundation, Intermediate, and Expert, um, where you get familiarized with the terminology and definition. What is a service? What do you mean by utility? What do you mean by warranty? What do you mean by service design package, and so on and so forth. Like it's a 16-hour course, but we split it into 2 weekends, right? We know that most of you guys are working, so we spend about 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday for 2 weekends, and then you're done with the course. The beauty is also that when you enroll for this course, you are given an exam voucher for it. So you undertake this course where we teach you across all the principles, concepts, and definitions. Once we do that, we also conduct module-wise sections. So if we have 5 core volumes, which we'll talk about shortly, we will have module wise exams so that you get yourself familiarized and test your understanding of what we are saying. And we spend a lot of time reviewing the questions, right? It's not about getting everything right. What is important is to understand where you're going wrong and what needs to be dealt with, right? And once you complete the training, depending on the level of preparedness, we have some 2 mock tests that you can take on. It's a full-fledged mock test from Axilos. Axilos is the intellectual property owners of ITIL, and PeopleCert is the accrediting training organization, which provides you the certificate, right? So Edureka is tied up with PeopleCert to provide this exam. So you'll be given an exam voucher that you can schedule online and take up this exam. Okay. Any questions so far in this particular slide so far? Okay. So we move on. Now, as I told you, each one of you come from different background, different experiences. So we need to understand and set the context correct, right? So everybody are on the same page. So just think about yourself at this moment. You could be from IT, where you are working in IT. You are familiarized with service, right? Anything which you buy a product to give a service. Like for example, you enroll for a course and Edureka provides you a training service, right? So you pay an amount, you enroll for a training and take the exam and go on, right? So it's a service as well. So you might be a person who's based out of IT. You might be also um, a non-IT guy, like a manufacturing, or you could be from retail. So you need to probably understand some of the IT concepts, and we will teach you these key principles of ITIL in context of non-IT. How does it work in manufacturing industry? How does it work in a retail industry? So we talk about it. From an experience, we have seen people from 1 to 2 years to 3 years and more. So it doesn't matter in terms of experience. It doesn't matter in terms of how much, which background you come from, which no prerequisites, right? So we would accommodate each and every one of you, irrespective of where you come across. But during the introduction session, we will try to understand more those details so that I normally place those examples and any of your instructors will play the examples in the context that you will understand better, right? So each and every one of us attempts to understand based on how they have been experienced. So those learning points will come through those sections, right? So it could be any of these people. So what happens in terms of preparation timelines, right? Um, so if you are basically into IT and after the course, it will probably take about 3 days to take up the exam, right? And we have had instances where people just after the course itself, the next day they take it, right? So you will get a lot more familiarized because we will teach you the concept. You will take the module wise exam and you will take two full mock tests. That means the full test that you will take to get yourself familiarized and see whether you are ready enough to take up the actual exam, right? If you are a non-IT person, like be it manufacturing, retail, insurance, or any other vertical that you're talking about, um, we would recommend non-IT plus course maximum about a week. And the best part is Edureka, we have subject matter experts, and you can ask a question anytime, even post the session, post the class, that will be more than happy to share our experience and help you, guide you for cracking the exam, right? So as I told you, a lot of these institutes say that it's 100% pass, but we recommend that we have an art of the science of cracking the exam. We really have inbuilt experience and expertise handling different customers from different backgrounds, different experience across different geographies. So we are in a better position to handle and guide you and coach you to get yourself cracked, right? So how do you go about preparation? The first and foremost thing that I would first talk is each and every one of us have implemented certain things in the way an organization does it, right? But you should not come with any baggage. That means don't bring your experience that you have learned in the exam, right? Because the way your organization does will be different from what ITIL book says, right? So you come up with an open mind and we will elucidate you the concepts, the principles of how the service mean, what is service level agreement, what do you mean by utility, warranty, stakeholder definitions, and all that stuff, right? So come with an open mind. Um, we will focus on understanding concepts and terminologies. This is not an exam to memorize facts. Okay, it's not a chartered accountant exam that you need to remember all the laws and then amendments and acts. It's not like that. You just need to be familiarized with the concepts and understanding. So the basic meaning, how that is used in the context of service, is important. Um, we'll do a lot of uh, getting yourself familiarized with the exam is important. So you need to know how much hours that you spend. Is it an online exam? Is it a paper exam? So we will talk about that. So getting yourself familiarized and you taking a mock exam and this section wise questions gives you a lot of confidence in the way to take your exams, right? So people ask me when we do this course, is there any other reference material that we need to take? We say don't require, because we'll cover the training course, will cover all the sections as required by the norms of the exam, as well as we'll give some tips, tricks, as well as we will conduct the module wise questions as well as the mock exams. So you'll be fully functionally thorough by the time you complete that 16 hours of effort going through this particular course. Any questions? So typically, we say IT people with the course takes about 3 days to take the exam. Non-IT people taking the course about a week, right? So it varies, but I'm just giving you the on an average thing that we have seen doing with people. And as I said, within a week or 3 days, anytime we are there to help you, coach you, and mentor you to get yourself familiarized with cracking the exam, right? These are some of the topics. So we have 6 topics as part of the course, which is divided into 2 weekends. We know a lot of you guys are working, and so we wanted to take 4 hours every on a Saturday and Sunday for 2 weekends, right? It could be in the morning session or an evening session. In fact, we're going to have our batches starting from October 17th that you can enroll. So we cover all of these topics and take module-wise exams to do that. So you need not worry about anything. We start and go step by step with examples and practical insights, and we do a lot of discussions. We just don't go and cover topics in a presentation. I hardly think that would be of any use. Everybody can read, but what we bring in is real practical experience of how this works based on the context of the exam. Now, this looks to be a big list, do not worry. But so this is divided into 5 core components, right? So we have service strategy to start with, service design, service transition, service operation, and continual service improvement. So underneath every core volume, there are a set of processes. It's we will in the course of the exam, it is only recommended to know the concepts and goals and how is it related with, right? So you don't need to be an expert, let's say in service catalog management or business relationship management. It only talks about what do you mean by business relationship management, what is the goal, whom do they interact with, how do the customer know you. So we will cover in a very basic fashion details, and it will not be overwhelming, I would say. We will do it in a very structured, clear manner so that it is spaced out equally in the time that we do, and we do not normally rush. We give adequate time for people because we know that when you are with different backgrounds, you have a different way of interpreting things. So we work with you, we understand your needs, and then align our the courses and discussions and debates accordingly. Okay. um, what is the semantics of the exam and how does the exam look like, right? Um, yes, the does one question from Mokshina Ashraf is, does the course available through online? Yes, we normally do this as an online training, right? So you have a trainer who does the online training there. We also record these sessions so that you can listen it later. Um, though that could be learned, recorded, but I would strongly suggest that you log in through like go to webinar link every weekend, and we will talk and discuss about it, and then you can ask questions. Yes, we have this course available through online. Yes, Jaren, go ahead. Um, you were asking about dumps. We have a set of mock questions. We have certain questions. We have certain set of section-wide questions. And based on our experience, we also bring in those insights as part of our learning process. So I have actually seen a lot of these exams. So and based on all our instructors and Edureka can bring in those valuable tips. There are m number of things that we can share as part of insights when we do these courses. Okay, and apart from that, there are a lot of other resources available as well. So from a semantics perspective, um, there are 40 questions. You need to take 26 marks to pass the exam. That means that is 65%. So if you get 26 correct answers, you get 65%. That means you pass the ITIL Foundation exam, right? It's a 1 hour duration. That means you have 60 minutes to answer 40 questions. It You will definitely have a lot of time because it is multiple choice questions. So you just have to look at one of the 4 options and then select it, and then it becomes easier for you to clear it across. There is no negative marking, so if you get something wrong, don't be worried. You don't get anything negative for it, but you don't get marked for it, right? And it's a closed book. That means you don't have anything to be open. You are proctored online, so you can take up the exam without reference of anything. And you don't require any books. I mean, just attending the course and taking the module-wise questions and exams is more than sufficient for you to crack the exam. So I have actually handled more than about several batches, I've always had 100% pass, irrespective of what background they have come in. So we'll ensure that you will be confident enough to take the exam, but I would strongly recommend you to enroll for a course, because that's when we know exactly where you come from and then bring those examples in alignment with what you really require across. Now, talking about, there was another question from Nicholas. Let me see. How many types of ITIL exams are there and which one do we need to take first? So, Nicholas, the first and foremost exam is the ITIL Foundation exam, right? The ITIL Foundation exam does not have any prerequisites, so you can directly take the exam. I would recommend attending the course. So, once you complete the ITIL Foundation course, then you become eligible to do the ITIL Intermediate course. Now, the ITIL Intermediate will talk about doing it specific service strategy, service design, transition, and once you complete intermediate courses, you will become an expert, right? But for intermediate courses, and there are two sections of intermediate courses which we'll tell when you complete ITIL Foundation, is that ITIL Foundation clearance of ITIL Foundation is mandatory for you to appear for intermediate or expert. Okay, so that's, I hope, Nicholas, that answers. This is the first exam to do that. Okay. Is there any classroom training available in Chennai location? Jaren, we are an online training provider, right? We understand there is a lot of constraints sometimes coming to a venue, and you cannot sometime have your schedule with your work, project, personal assignments. So we only offer online courses, and that's where there is a lot of flexibility for you to approach a mentor even after the course, as well as you get the recordings available, and you can listen more and more. The classroom sessions, what happens is you have to be present, you have to understand, and then afterwards you have to reproduce on that, right? But here you can listen to this recording, and we give a lot of more tips, and we also have a dedicated subject matter experts who will give you free advice, counseling for you to take beyond the scope of the exam itself, right? So I would say that is where we do that. Could you please let me know if you would provide the mock exam papers or dumps without enrolling in the course, such as practice tests? I mean, there are a few practice tests that we can give, but I would say to send an email to support@edureka.co. They'll be more than happy to give you the questions, because mock exams and papers are available many places. But what we have is very structured way of understanding what are the possible questions that they could come, because it's more of the depth that matters rather than the number of questions. So that's where I think Edureka would be different in the way that we operate the questions. Okay. So keep your questions coming across as we do. Welcome, Moshina. Can we select the weekend course timing? So we there is a course that will be coming across, Jerin. Normally they do one time on the morning and the other one on the night batches. So you feel free to pick and choose what suits you well. That details are coming up just prior to the end of the session. So you feel free, Tech, and we have flexibility to attend both the the morning classes as well as the evening classes, because some of people are in shifts, so we really cater to both the needs, and that's the flexibility that you get enrolling in courses of Edureka. Okay, so Mukul, we'll come to your question a little later after I go for the tips and tricks. I hope that is okay with you, Mukul. So we come to the tips and tricks. ITIL terminologies and definition, right? So we need to first understand what is the terminology, what is the definition of it. Please note that there are a lot of training organizations today who deliver these courses, right? Edureka is one among them. But the way things differ is that in Edureka, and I've worked with them for quite some time now, that they bring in experienced practitioners, right? Anybody can teach a course, but only very few people have got experience in implementing those best practices across client engagements. So they bring you a lot of valuable practical tips, not only for the exam, but also help you do your service or do your work better. So think about it for a while of how do you go out and select good trainer to do that. We do a thorough revision. As I told you, you don't need to have any other course material. We cover it in complete 2 weekends. All of the details. We give you plenty of examples, and we make you a lot more interactive, right? And because you are within your home or with your office, you can feel free to just talk and interact. And because there are a lot of other people who will also ask questions, there's a collective wisdom that you will get by revising and understanding from each other. Okay. um, so we do a practice for sample questions. You will appear for mock exam. As I told you, there are 2 full-fledged mock exams that you will get. It is a replica. It is a kind of a real simulation of how you will take the actual exam. And what I suggest normally is do not read it with a preconceived notion. People, what they do is they jump into answers. The moment they think about a keyword, right? So what is important is to understand that read the all the possible options, right? Go through all the answers of 4 options before selecting an answer, right? Eliminate 50% of irrelevant choice. The easiest way to do is that out of the 4 options that you will get, 2 will be irrelevant. That means you can easily eliminate that are not related to the question that they're asking, right? And there are no difficult questions. Just so don't think too much when you answer this. This is a foundation exam. So they are looking at giving you basic insights, basic concepts, and testing your basic understanding, right? So it's not going to be that difficult to do that. So first do the elimination of removing that 2 incorrect answers, and then you're left with 50%. So your probability of getting that right is 50%, right? As opposed to 25% if you just go by one. And then pick up the things, read it carefully, and then do that. So normally trust your instincts because you know the concept, you understand that. As I told you, there is no need to memorize things. If you understand the concepts, if you have listened to the class well, if you have done your mock exams and understood the rationale behind where you went wrong, that is more than sufficient to crack the exam. Okay, so I hope these are some of the tricks that you need to think about when you're doing this exam. Now let me come to Mukul's question. Um, Sorry, Mukul, I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat that question? I think I accidentally missed that question. You're talking about ITIL and ITSM. Hope PD, okay, I'm just coming to that. I understand there is a difference between ITIL and ITSM. ITIL will help to manage ITSM in much more efficient manner. But how can we differentiate ITIL from ITSM in terms of functionality? Great question, Mukul. So first of all, ITIL is a best practice framework. That means it only says what are the best practices that you need to follow, right? It's a framework. But IT service management is how you use this framework using people, process, technology, that we say 4 Ps: people, process, products, and partners in your own organization. That is called IT service management. So IT service management is the practical implementation of using ITIL's best practice framework in your organization. I hope that clears you. It is talking about people, process, products, and partners to deliver it. So ITIL is just a framework. You use that for your benefit to improve or deliver the service to your customers. I hope, Mukul, that answers the difference between your um, um, ITIL and IT service management. Now, Jerin has a question. Hope PDF or doc files also provide along with the online session. Um, we have the slides. Slides are available. We take you to the learning and management system. The beauty of this one is the slides, the mock exams, and the section wise exams are all available till your entire life. It's like lifetime that you can come and access it, right? So we provide you those facility that we don't restrict you just because you have completed exam. Later, if you want to revise or come back again, or if you have any questions, you can still refer to that because it will be part of your own learning management system. So once you enroll for a course, that will be available for you for your lifetime. Hope that answers your question, Jaren. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide as we speak. Some of the common pitfalls that we have seen when people take the exam is, first, don't be nervous. It's not like a very tough exam like what you did for your board exams or for your college exams. It's not that. um, don't bring your own experience, right? You don't think that this is how we implement incident management. This is the way we used to do priority calculation. This is the way we talk about service design. Don't bring your own experience for a while. As I told you, keep your baggage away. It's important to understand what ITIL says and then recheck whether that was the best way or this is argumentative. But in the exam is focusing on what ITIL book says, right? So um, you need to uh, don't bring your own experience. The other aspect is thinking too much. As I told you, this is a basic foundation exam. That means you are targeting at understanding concepts. So don't think too much about an answer because it's not that difficult, right? And as I told you, there are four options that you get when you answer the question of the 40 questions. So please read all the responses carefully, and then don't rush to complete. People are, you will have plenty of time. So don't rush to do that. In case if you don't know the answer, pass it on and then go ahead. Don't press the submit button. You can always flip back and pick up the right answer, and then finally you can submit. So don't press the submit button until you have covered. So don't go in a rush and take time to prepare, right? As I told you, each one of you are different from the background, experience, and the domain that you bring across. So it's important to understand where you are and how much preparation you need to do that so that you become fully confident before you take the exam, right? There's a question from Nicholas. Is there an ITIL version 4? No. This is the latest version, which is ITIL version 3. In fact, it's called ITIL the 2011 version. So there is no ITIL version 4. So once you complete ITIL version 3, and at this moment, it is good for the rest of the thing. If at all there is something, they will do it. But right now, there is only ITIL version 3. There is no version 4. Okay. Hope that answers your question, Nicholas. Now, we talked about a little bit of the preparation time, what does it take, and how it is done. Before I go into the ideal preparation time, I will just give you a minute for you to watch through the slide. I have one more question from Jaren. Is 2011 the latest? Yes, Jaren, 2011 is the latest version of ITIL, which is the version in which this was upgraded to the ITIL version 3. In fact, ITIL version 3 was released in 2007, and the updated one, which is the 2011 version. So now, coming on to the ideal preparation time and how Edureka can help you in the journey to get yourself cleared, is that first of all, you attend the ITIL Foundation exam prep training, right? So it's for 2 weekends. We do 4 hours each on Saturday and Sunday, either morning or evening. We really schedule classes as it is. You will get more information at support@edureka.co. What you do is once you do that, it's an online virtual training that we provide from Edureka, where you analyze the preparation and method and timeline. Remember, you could be from IT, you could be from non-IT, you could have 1 year, 3 years. So we help you to understand what is the best preparation methodology, what timelines that you need to look at. So we also provide extra time, right? It's not about only 4 hours that we do. I do a post mid session, and then we do a 1 hour Q&A session. If you have any questions from what we discussed, we can also additionally arrange some sessions for you to understand more, or if you need to deep dive more, we can also do that, right? So we schedule a batch, extra time for you to clarifications. And as I said, after the course, you can still ask questions, right? So we will have a subject matter expert who will be answering a question, and then make sure you are available and you do it. And even if you complete your exam, you are doing your work and you want some information or assistance for work purpose, feel free to ask. That's why we are practitioners. We give a lot of practical advice of how you can use that at your workplace. And our students have gone from ITIL Foundation to intermediate to expert, and they come up again and again to other courses. So people who have done in big data, Hadoop, and other stuff also enroll for PMP, ITIL courses, and so on. So we are seeing a lot of people coming across doing multiple courses in Edureka, right? So we will ensure that you have a required exam assistance where you can be confident, not only with the mock questions, section-wise questions, but also from clarification perspective, confident perspective to take the exam, right? So depending on which division, it's probably spanning between 1 to 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks is the maximum you would need to crack this exam, right? So we will give you personalized guidance from subject matter experts. So I do a lot of coaching, mentoring, stuff that I will give you so that you can use those expertise to go there and clear the exams, right? And if you have any difficult question that you want to ask and analyze, feel free to ask, right? So there is nothing that will stop you from asking questions or information or any details. We will be more than happy to make yourself comfortable, confident to crack the exam, right? So that's what we are talking about, science of preparation. There has to be a scientific method of how do you prepare, what kind of structure you do, where do you come from, what's the methodology, and then work with you to get yourself confident to clear the exam. Any questions on this particular slide? There's a question from Jay Prakash. Is there any validity period of ITIL certification? There is no validity period for ITIL certification. So whatever you have is still valid. In my case, what happened was I did my ITIL Foundation in 2005. So it's what, 10 years back, right? And that time it was version 2. And when version 3 came, they automatically upgraded it to version 3. So I didn't do anything. I just did a bridge exam finally to become an ITIL V3 expert. So, but at this moment, there is no validity period. It is available for you completely. Okay. Hope that answers your question, Jay Prakash. Now, having discussed about your the time preparation tips and tricks and pitfalls, what are the resources and next steps that you can do? If you go to the Edureka website, and this slides will also be available, is what I have written, a blog for all of you guys to understand what is in for you as an ITSM professional and why you should do ITIL Foundation. So I've written about some of the myths people think about ITIL. People think about IT service management. People think about from a non-IT background. So I talk about all of those elements, how to crack the exam, what is the career progression that you get by becoming an ITIL Foundation. So I would strongly recommend you to go there and enroll, to go there and read. That's part of the Edureka course itself. What is in for you as an ITSM professional? So have written a detailed blog of deciphering myths and how to become a service management professional, right? So enroll for the course. There's a weekend course that is going to start. Enroll for a course where we will talk, understand, bring your, clarify what background you come from, what is your experience, and we will help you to achieve and crack the exam, right? So study and clear the exam. So the best and first and foremost thing is you read it, you enroll for a course, and then you can have more people joining. And we have had 100% success for all the people who have had so far. So I hope you will continue the track record of Edureka, and my batch, particularly whoever has enrolled, have been always getting 100% pass. So I hope you will be able to do that. So I strongly recommend you to go through the blog, what is in for you as an ITSM professional, enroll a course, and take the mock exam. There's a course from there is a question from Nicholas. Does Edureka offer Seagate training and exam prep? They are on the verge of completing it. We are supposed to get accreditation. I'm a certified in governance of enterprise IT, and we do some of the batches as well. So we have just about to get our accreditation done and stuff. So once we get it completed, you will also see that available on our website. So that's on the cards. So I'm actually facilitating some of those elements for their course accreditation. So you will hear from them soon. As I told you, we are all very practitioner who practice IT governance. We practice talking with CIOs. So we'll be able to offer some practical insights for all of these courses. Um, so we talked about validity. We talked about Edureka course for Seagate. There's a course. There is a question from Mukul. Is there any compulsory time frame to clear intermediate exam, post clearing foundation exam? Mukul, there is no specific time frame. Um, we are not we are not what do you call, there's no specific timeline, but you should have done an ITIL exam perspective, and then you should appear for the course to do that. People have done, you know, anywhere between 2 months time to a year's time, depending on what they want to do and how they want to do it, right? So you need to undergo the courses. The normal recommendation is for the intermediate courses, it's about 21 hours of learning. That means you need to be present for 3 working days, spread over whatever weekends that we are talking about, or courses that you can think about. And after that, you'll have to take up this exam, right? And that's also a multiple choice question, but it's a scenario based exam. So it could go anywhere from 2 months to a year, depending on what's your appetite and how you want to run through this particular courses. Yeah. Do you provide certification of the course? Yeah, you can check with support. Some of these elements of what we do and how we do that can be dealt directly with support at edureka.co. You can contact them and they'll be able to provide more details of certification, exam scheduling, and so on. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Mokshina. Now, I've talked about certifications, and people are asking when is the next course and what it is, right? So you get yourself certified in ITIL from Edureka, right? Um, so we have this course starting from 17th October. So as I told you, it's done in 2 weekends. So it's a morning batch. It might be a night batch next weekends. So we design, give best practices. So like what we are doing now as a 1 hour tutorial, we will do that particular course as 4 hours, Saturday and Sunday. We will also conduct additional sessions if required, if you need any additional questions. We have an excellent 24/7 support. There are mock tests available, and we are certified trainers as well as accredited trainers and practitioners. So we'll be more than happy to give you more insights if you need any more insights of how to use that in workplace, right? Mukul was asking how do you implement service management, so we can talk a lot about that. So feel free to use this, and I strongly recommend you to enroll for these courses so that you get more benefits, practical insights from there, right? So we will talk about some of the case studies when we go to the intermediate courses as well, where we'll bring in a practical idea and ask you how you will adopt it in your own real-time scenario, right? If suddenly there is a power outage, how will you communicate to the customers? What are the backup arrangements that you'll have? So we'll do it in a very practical manner as opposed to just running through PPTs, right? Everybody can run through PPTs. That's where people give you fancy books and other stuff. But practical experience, there are very few practical trainers you will get in institute. So I'm happy that we've been associated with Edureka provides real practical training for people to get familiarized and take it forward. Okay. So I'm almost at the end of the session. Your questions, your queries are welcome. It's been so far a quite an interactive session where we've got a lot of questions, and I hope that I've answered them to your needs. But I will open up for the next 3 to 5 minutes. So if you have any additional questions through whatever we have seen so far, or learned in terms of the ITIL Foundation course, materials, exam pattern, and so on. There's a question from Nicholas that is talking about Do you guys have training on COBIT? I've just completed the COBIT course. It is pending for approval. Once it's approved, it is done. I've just done and delivered the COBIT course for accreditation from ISACA. So hopefully, once that is done, you should be able to get that as well done. So I just completed the course, and we've given it for accreditation. So you will hear it from there. Um, Fee structure for ITIL. Um, there is when you enroll for an online course, there's some discounts going across, and it is one of the most competitive one across in all of the batches, right? I've worked with a lot of these institutes across. This is one of the most competitive, price competitive courses, but we don't compromise on value that we provide. So I would strongly recommend go to the Edureka site, go to send a mail to support at Edureka. There is a feedback that will come post this webinar. So if you fill that, you will get a mail from Edureka where they'll give you all the details, and course fees and stuff like that. And you can compare. It's the best in the industry, and it's a lot of value because you bring in real practitioners who got about 15, 20 years of experience who was talking foundation courses. I've known a lot of these institutes who do that, asking for 2 to 3 years people who just have passed out from a college. How about CSSP? Yeah, so there are a lot of courses that are in pipeline. You must have to check with the people to get it familiarized. I would always check with support at edureka.co. And certification fee. The best part about this, Jerin, is when you enroll for a course of ITIL Foundation, that includes the exam fees as well. So along with the exam fees, that is a very good bonanza, I will tell you. That's the most competitive that you can get, including a course as well as this expert advice along with the exam voucher. So all of them are bundled together when you enroll for a course. Okay, so hope that answers your question, Jaren. Any other questions? Can I choose Chennai location? So it's an online exam. So irrespective of whether you're in Chennai or in Singapore or Malaysia, Jaren, you can still take an exam, right? So it doesn't matter. You can take the exam from your home. You can take it from your office. It doesn't matter, right? There will be an online proctor who will be managing that particular exam. Otherwise, you can take it anywhere. So that's the flexibility that you get to take an exam anywhere, any place, anywhere. How about the United States? Of course. I had a batch of students from United States. I think last batch. One was from Pennsylvania. One was from um, uh, I think Las Vegas, and I'm doing a batch in New Orleans later in November. I'm coming and speaking there. So we have done that, and of course, absolutely, Nicholas. If you're in DC, you can take this course online as well, and you can take it online. That's the beauty of it, right? So you don't need to be available, and you can take it at your own time zone, right? And we are kind of working in a different time zone. So absolutely, at your ease, you can schedule your exam. That flexibility is there to do these courses. So absolutely, so you can take your exam. The voucher is available once you purchase this course, and you can take the exams directly online. You can assign the instructor. For me, Suresh GP has a trainer, and then you go ahead and schedule the exam and take it. So absolutely, so it should be easy for you to take it and move forward on that, Nicholas. Should not be a worry. I've had people who have done that. Um, Absolutely. I'm thinking that I definitely welcome you to attend the course, and it'll be fun. We will discuss, and we can learn a lot of these things from your experience as well, and we will share, collaboratively. So I'm always excited to do these trainings, though I do a lot of consulting engagements, because here you have different people from different perspectives. They come up with different backgrounds, so it's really helpful to collaborate, to learn from each other. It's a lot more fun, right? So I really look forward to seeing you all in my courses and enroll in Edureka as well, where you can step up your career journey. And in my blog, if when you read it, I also talk about what's the career progression that you can get by doing this ITIL course on being in service management, right? So feel free to read the blog. That's a blog is aimed for anybody who wants to get into the space of service management. and you can get more details. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot to support@edureka.co, and we'll be more than happy to take those questions. Okay. So, any last minute questions you have before we take a think about completing this course? I hope you've been a very patient audience. Thanks for your quite interactive participation. Hope you had some good takeaways about how to crack the ITIL Foundation exam. How can Edureka help you into that? And you're so welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you took the time to listen to it. This recording will be also available online, so I would appreciate if you think that this was valuable to share it with everybody whom you know, so that we can get more people get benefited, and by that time Edureka can also help and support different people in who would be interested to develop their career in service management, right? So thanks again for your patient things, and if you could take some time post this session to give your candid feedback, that will be more appreciated, because we have a stringent quality policy. We want to hear your feedback of what went right, what areas that we could improve, so that we can come up with these regular webinars to provide valuable insights. Um, um, and Thanks for that. And I'm more than happy, Mokshina, Mukul, Cherin, Nicholas, and everybody. I'm more than happy, and I wish you all good luck, irrespective of whether you take a course in Edureka. I think everybody's journey is important. All the best, best wishes, irrespective of what you are in. Go through the blog; it will give you some great insights of how you want to step your career. So, with that, I definitely thank you all and wish you all a great, successful journey in service management. I look forward to seeing you guys in one of our courses, in some of the things. For the October courses, I'm doing an intermediate course as well. So one of our trainers will be there, but I think Edureka is a safe place that we'll handhold to take you into the reality of winning big. Yeah. Thanks a lot, everybody, for your time and patience. I look forward to hearing you, and all the best. Thank you.